Legal Services, which you are all aware of, also contributes to our Harrell Herring funding that we have, which has been able to get us additional criminal attorneys. So for the, excuse me, for the 2022-2023 year, that apportionment was $357,310,000. So for the year 2023-2024, that number is still the same, $357,310,000. The point I'm trying to make is that it seems to me that the governor has acknowledged and is implementing and placing in his budget something that we can anticipate happening over the next years to come. With, just so you know, just within that $357 million I gave you, $4,500,000 is allocated for parental representation. That's been factored in and built in by the Office of Indigent Legal Services into their budget. And again, I think you can safely say that if the budgets have not been reduced over this year, you can expect that that's going to continue for the next 3 years and beyond. So with that being said, I'm making myself available for any questions.
Any questions or comments? Mrs. Villano?
Thank you, Mr. Signor, for being here tonight. I appreciate your hard work. It's sad to see that negligent children are being increased as the years go by. You talk about the parent advocate. Will that person be more of a social services person or an attorney or a little bit of both?
Probably not slated for an attorney. If I could be realistic and pragmatic and somewhat adult in here, for what we're paying the parent advocate, I don't think any attorney would want that position. But it's somebody, to answer your question, I guess the best is we're actually working on the specs right now. And the problem I have, Legislator Villano, is something that's global. It's not just my office, but we're really having a difficult time trying to fill positions. So we're trying to make the specification such that it opens it up to a wider variety of people to do this. If I narrow it too much, I won't have anybody. And I don't want to make it too broad. But the answer is it won't be a lawyer. It will be somebody who maybe doesn't necessarily have a social services background, but can do social services work. That's the best I can answer at this point, because we just haven't developed all the specifications yet.
That was my next question.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yep.
Mr. McDonald.
Second.
Mr. Hughes on the second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? The initiative is reported to the agenda.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you, Rory.
The next item on the agenda is CJCA2, a resolution to create and eliminate positions in the office of the Schenectady County District Attorney. County Manager Fluman is here to provide information on this initiative.
So as our district attorney does in many cases, he finds a good person, good fit for one of his attorneys. He doesn't have the slot that he would like to put this new graduate from born and raised in Niskayuna into the district attorney's office. So he's coming to me and then to you asking to change out positions in his budget. So to go from an ADA2 to an ADA1, it's about a $9,000 cost savings. And again, it's a better fit for the person that he's recruited for a position in the district attorney's office.
Are there any questions or
Move
comments?
to report.
Mr. Hughes? Second. Mr. McGill? Seconds. All of those in favor?
Aye. Aye.
Any opposed? The initiative is reported to the agenda. Thank you. That concludes our business. The Committee on Codes, Judiciary, and Consumer Affairs is now closed.
Thank you. Our next committee is the Committee on Public Facilities, Transportation, and Infrastructure, to be chaired by Legislative Attorney.
Mr. Chairman, thank you. I'd like to call to order the Committee on Public Facilities, Transportation, and Infrastructure. This evening we have one item on the agenda, PFTI 6, a resolution approving capital budget amendments for improvements to the Schenectady County recreational facility in the town of Glenville and naming the recreational facility the Schenectady County Ray Wemple Memorial Rink. And we have County Manager Fluman to discuss a little more.
So I apologize for the low-tech version of this, but I really wanted you to see like an in-color picture of the proposed new Schenectady County Ray Wemple Memorial Ice Hockey Rink. Basically, this would be an allotment of ARPA monies, $2.5 million that are coming forward tonight. Has anybody been to the hockey rink? Opened in 2000. You know, as Gillen will tell you, we were able to get the hockey players out of Center City. And at that point, the hockey arena was built. Ray Wemple was one of the people on the ground floor that advocated, got community groups together, got this body back into previous to 2000 to take hockey seriously and to build the facility out there. The facility itself was built on a very small scale. There's only, we have one sheet of ice and we have 2 locker rooms. The locker rooms out there are really not in good condition. 20 years of high volume use, high school teams, adult leagues, youth clinics have really kind of worn down our hockey locker room areas, and they're small. To watch a high school team come out of one of our locker rooms, it's maybe about like you can't even compare it. It's amazing that with pads that a whole team fits in one of these rooms. So a lot of times teams are meeting out in the lobby or even outside. Ice time is very highly scheduled. So many times waiting teams are actually out in the parking lot waiting in their cars to be able to come in. So typically when the ice is exchanged in our hockey rink, there's a lot of confusion. So what we're putting forward tonight is some architectural renderings from C2 Design for the amount that we're asking. We're going to be able to completely blow out the front of the building. So we're actually going to go from 2 locker rooms to 5. And you want a minimum of 4 so that a team can be staging in a locker room while they're waiting for the team to come off the ice. They go into the 2 open locker rooms, and then the other folks can kind of assemble better so it's more comfortable for the parents to be on the side. There's also going to be updated concession stands that is typically run by parents. And there's also going to be an important 5th locker room for hockey officials, females that may be on male teams. So the 5th locker room was actually very critical. It fits in with expansion of our parking lot. If anybody's ever driven by our hockey rink on a Saturday or Sunday when they're having a tournament or having teams in, people are parked everywhere. There's just not enough parking space. Our neighbors C2, in a previous action by this legislature where we had sold some of that land, our parking lot's going to come but right up to that property line. But they're good neighbors. They want the expansion of the parking lot at our hockey rink. So we're getting so much for this build. We're going to be able to tie into the sewer system. Right now we have an outdated leach field out there. And again, the bathroom situation is not always the best situation at our county ice hockey rink. We have a sewer line that goes right down Tower Road, so we'll be able to tie into the sewer line. So our public health people are ecstatic that we're going to be able to do this. We'll be able to get some car chargers out there for vehicles that come to us. So not only have we made the commitment to having an electric ice inside so that we're not expending diesel fumes in a contained area, anybody coming to the rink will have a couple of electric vehicle car chargers outside, brand new parking lot. It's going to be a very good investment, and I'm coming here tonight and recommending to this body for this action.
Thank you, Manager Fluman. It'll be a very nice upgrade to this facility and a much-needed one. So entertain any questions, Legislator Osterlich.
It's a bit of a comment. My district has a lot of hockey-playing families, and this is so needed. I hear often. This is exciting, very exciting. So thank you for doing it. Thank you for investing, and I hope that my colleagues also support.
Thank you. Legislator Russo?
I recall this conversation started back in 2015, so I'm very proud to hear that we're moving it tonight. It's fantastic. As Legislator Osterlich said, there's many families that I think travel a long way to go for youth hockey and travel hockey. Now they can travel to us, right? Schenectady County, home of sports tourism, and I'm really looking forward to what this project means in terms of unique visitors to our community, hotel stays, restaurant experiences. Quick, off the cuff, I know we're moving this tonight. What does it take to put a second sheet of ice out there, right? Isn't that bigger and better for us long-term?
Well, I got to tell you, partnership with Union College, is tremendous. I know they're looking, and they have their plans. So hopefully, maybe we could have a community partnership for a second sheet of ice. $2.5 million is a serious allotment. We have made some investments along the way. I know we have a hockey dad here, an expert on hockey rinks. Maybe he could speak to that.
It's a huge undertaking. So I was in,
You
I was in Detroit for the weekend for hockey. So
Yeah.
it's,
You know what, frankly, space. Space is an issue, and our parking is so bad out there currently that to expand the parking lot a little bit is almost more important. We just couldn't fit a second sheet of ice out there.
Okay, all right, thank you, I appreciate that. But I elevate off of what Legislator Frisoni
Yeah,
just said.
and
We
I
went to
cut him off.
Detroit for a league, a travel game. Let Detroit come to us.
In time, Legislator Russo,
Yeah.
in time.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you.
I
Is there-
just have a quick
Second.
Yes,
question
Legislator
for a
Valano.
second. Will you be expanding the square footage inside at all, or just retrofitting?
Absolutely, absolutely. So we're actually building closer to where you pull in. So we're almost just shifting forward. So the brand new locker room space will be up front. We're gonna have to shut down for a few months, so this is likely gonna targeted be a summer project. If the planets align, it would be the summer of '24.
Thank you.
Great. Legislator Hughes, did you want to want to make a? Thank you, I appreciate that. We have a motion and a second. All those in favor? Any opposed? Thank you. This item is moved to the agenda, and this concludes our business for the Committee on Public Facilities, Transportation, and Infrastructure.
Sorry. Our next committee is the Committee on Public Safety and Firefighting, to be chaired by Legislator Constantine.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We'll call to order the Committee on Public Safety and Firefighting. We have one item, PSF 1. It's a resolution regarding the budget amendments for improvements to the Unified Communications Center. And it's an authorization we approved just shy of $1,200,000 back in September. And this is our next step in the process to kick in our spending from our previously approved capital budget in the amount of an additional $902,000. You'll see attached letters from our county manager and commissioner of finance, and our county manager is in here to explain additional and to answer any questions.
This is simply just a budgetary transfer. This is the $1.1 million that we previously have accepted through state Homeland Security funds. This has always had the intention of going towards radio interoperability. Specifically, we need to rebuild the tower out at Crawford Hill. Everybody from District 4 is very familiar. It's a very kind of hard to place, high elevated place out in Rotterdam. So it's just simply a budget transfer where we're creating a capital account to be able to spend this already $900,000 that's in-house now.
Move to report.
All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone against? Thank you. The motion's approved. Public safety and firefighting is closed for the evening. Thank you, County Manager.
Thank you. Our next committee is the Committee on Technology and Communication, to be chaired by Legislator Russo.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I call to order the Committee on Technology and Communications. We have two items on the agenda tonight. One is acceptance of monies from the New York State Department of Homeland Security for cyber service improvements, and the other is some position changes. We have our Chief Information Officer, Laura Baker, here to talk about the first item, which is TC number 1, cyber service.
The Information Technology Department was able to procure a $50,000 grant for cybersecurity improvement from New York State Department of Homeland Security. The department is planning to use it to train our in-house staff and look into a new backup and recovery dynamic. We hope you'll accept it.
Any questions, comments? Thank you. And a second?
Second.
All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. Thank you. The measure is carried. The second item that we have is TC2, and it's a resolution to create and eliminate positions in the Department of Information Services, and I think that we have a budget save here.
Yeah.
Very good. Can you explain?
Yeah, we had budgeted for a new junior systems administrator for this year. The position was vacant, and then individual in our department plans to retire, so he's a very critical individual, and we need to pass his knowledge on, so we want to bring in someone else in the same title to learn under that individual in anticipation of a retirement.
Second.
All those in favor indicate by saying aye. Those opposed, nay.
Aye.
The measure is carried, and that concludes our business for technology and communications. I thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Thanks, Laura. Our last committee of the evening is the Committee on Ways and Means to be chaired by Legislator McDonald.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I call the Committee on Ways and Means to order. We have one new item, Ways and Means number 3, a resolution correcting unlawful entries on the municipal tax roll of Glenville. We have our real property tax director, Paul Romano, here.
Thank you. We received 2 applications from the town of Glenville. There was a not-for-profit entity who was taxed and put on roll section 1 of the assessment roll, so we're looking to for approval to cancel out the tax bills and then put them on roll section 8, which is the wholly exempt section of the assessment roll.
Move to report.
A motion?
Second.
And a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
The initiative is reported.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, sir.
note the remainder of the agenda is dual referrals from committees that discussed these items earlier in the evening, and I'm inquiring as to whether you would entertain a motion to move the calendar in its entirety.
Absolutely. Do we have a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
The calendar is reported, and the Committee on Ways and Means is now closed.
Thank you, and that concludes our business for this evening. Just to once again note for the record, our February regular meeting will be held at 7:00 p.m. on Tuesday, February 14th at Yates Elementary School, located at 725 Selena Street in the city of Schenectady. Our committee meeting is over with. Thank you all.